Thank you. For real. Thank you. Whoever. You guys voted for what I think is the best UFC main card of all time. Maybe the best card ever. I mean, I'm sure I'll get comments saying what they think is the best and whatnot, but this is my pick, probably. And so this one is just special. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about UFC 217, the return of the greatest fighter ever, George St-Pierre. UFC 217 took place in Madison Square Garden in NYC, just about 30 minutes away from the Shaolin lands of Staten Island. They pulled a live gate of $6.2 million with an attendance of just over 18,000. They also got a pay-per-view buy rate of 875,000. Fantastic numbers there. So, some notes for the prelims. Ricardo Ramos laid out Firas Zahabi's brother with a vicious spinning elbow. He threw like one, lands, whatever, and then threw another one like immediately after and got the KO. The CM Punk killer himself, Mickey Gall, suffered his first career loss to Randy Brown. OSP got a vicious KO over Corey Anderson. And lastly, James Vick got his second to last win in his career with a stoppage over Joe Duffy. So, first up on the main card, we got former champion at welterweight, Johnny Big Rig Hendricks. Big Rig. He's taken on the then unknown Paulo Costa. And, okay, this fight's kind of a slaughter. So Hendricks has some success with low kicks and some left hands as he's moving forward. But this is a Costa showcase fight. Big body kicks crash over and over. When this body attack is working, Costa's noticing it, and he's going high with a kick or he's stepping in with a power punch. Any attempts at grappling or clinching just stuffed instantly. Easy first round for Costa. Quickly in the second round, Costa lands a big right hand, timing Hendricks on the step in. Costa swarms, and it does take him a while to put Hendricks down, but when he does, it's over. Violent, beautiful, just how I like my fights. So this fight is it's 7.5 for me. 7.5 sounds good. It's got its good technical moments as Costa has almost this Crow Cop-like three-pronged attack from the dominant side. And it had some awesome moments of the open guard versus the closed guard. I like them being both in the closed guard matchup here. It was also just violent and fun. I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. This was Hendricks' last fight, like I said earlier. He was cut from the UFC after going 1-5 in his last 6. He went to bare knuckle after that where he didn't have the most success. Hendricks is always going to be that guy that comes up when people talk about a post-USADA drop-off. There's tons of speculation there, and I want to be the first to say I was a big Johnny Hendricks fan. I'm a fellow Oklahoma boy myself, I got to represent. But that being said, USADA ruined him, and I'm down for it. I don't want cheaters in my sport. It is what it is. Big-time welterweight fight up next as Stephen Wonderboy Thompson takes on Jorge Masvidal. Jorge. Honestly, I say both, so heads up. I apologize if it gets confusing. First round, good round for him. Uses his movement, this plethora of kicks to maintain range, almost like a sniper as he's often described. Wonderboy also is just sliding in for a shot, then slips out. Those sniping long kicks out of nowhere. At one point, Masvidal tries to move in for a combination, and he's dropped to his butt with a hard side kick to the body. Second round, some success with a body kick from Masvidal, but the big moments for him were a takedown attempt that he didn't get, but it led to a flurry against the cage. But this is just another round snatched up by the karate of Wonderboy. Wonderboy is making Masvidal move constantly, wearing him out, testing his gas tank, landing the bigger shots in the round, including a beautiful slip to the right into a right straight that drops Masvidal hard. Incredible round for Wonderboy. Third round, more of the same. But Masvidal is now attacking legs, but he's also being aggressive as well. And this in turn has Wonderboy crank up the volume himself. Both dudes are landing shots, showing damage on their face, but it's the Wonderboy show. His slips and dips while changing stances to attack from new angles, they're just a thing of beauty. He gets the unanimous decision victory. Honestly, I remember this being the worst fight on the main card, and I was wrong. This could be some bias because I've been just binging striking footwork lately, but this fight got me hyped. I loved it, actually. I really, really liked it. I'm going to go with an 8.5 on my rating. It's great. Now, we have the first of 3 title fights on this card, as Joanna Jędrzejczyk defends her strawweight title against Rose Namajunas. So, let's talk about the build for this fight, because it makes it something special. I think there's a good reasoning to have context before and after a fight. I think it helps elevate a fight itself personally. So Rose was perceived as having this insane potential, but mentally struggled to make that next step to become champion. Joanna, on the other hand, was known for being so dominant in the best division in women's MMA. Joanna was also smart. She knew about this mental struggle of Rose, and she just went at her from the jump, trying to intimidate her. She was yelling stuff like, "The Boogie Woman is coming for you," telling fans, "Don't blink her, they're going to miss the whole fight." But let's see it. Let's see the super prospect versus the Polish striking queen. We got to watch a fight. The fight still has to happen, right? Out the jump, Joanna, using her length, trying to stay on the outside and bait a counter shot. Rose is moving well, showing a lot of shoulder feints, and right now, they're working. Both women are throwing combinations, and Rose is doing very well in the striking, a place where people didn't expect her to have any success in. Another feint, Joanna bites it, trying to kick, eats a big counter combination that drops her. They get back to the feet. Joanna is throwing a lot more activity, as if she's trying to get herself back into the round. Another feint to her right straight that leads into a big left hook. Rose gets a knockdown. Swarm of punches rain down. Joanna turns over and goes to tap, but before she does, the ref stops it for a TKO finish. What an upset. 10 out of 10. No question. Easy. The build-up, the story, historical significance, and of course, the most important part, the fight itself. All of it are great. All of it are fantastic. These two would run it back immediately 5 months later in Brooklyn. But, I gotta be honest, I'm sure I'll cover that fight one day, so I'll hold off on it. Shameless plug, but on the main channel, there's a Joanna career retrospective. Go check it out. It's amazing. It covers her whole career beautifully. Now it's time for a co-main event of the evening, the second of 3 title fights on this card. Cody Garbrandt defending his bantamweight title against his nemesis, TJ Dillashaw. So, these guys run tough together. Oh my god, they were constantly fighting. They're just yapping, and then here comes Cody swinging a hand. It's trash TV at its finest. One thing too, Cody Garbrandt is not a great talker, but I love his willingness to talk. The build-up for this fight it's like a chef's kiss. It's beautiful. In the first round, TJ is active, throwing a ton of shots, moving very well, honestly, like gorgeous footwork. Cody staying calm, something that seems outlandish nowadays. Cody then goes forth with a big flurry, gets a quick knockdown. For the rest of the round, he just outstrikes TJ. At the very end of the round, though, he lands this vicious right hand clean on the chin, and it looks like he's going to get the finish right before the bell sounds. Second round, TJ's out there, a little flat-footed. He's loaded up on these kicks, but he starts getting his feet back under him, and after withstanding some taunting from Cody Garbrandt, he's putting this pace forward, kind of pushing forward, still not having his range, but it's very similar to round 1. He's definitely recovered. Then bang! Out of nowhere, lead leg high kick drops Cody hard. Cody survives, but the momentum is quickly just shifted the other way. And he manages to sneak in a big combination as Cody's flat-footed, and boom, another knockdown. TJ swarms for the finish. We have a new champion in the best division on the planet. 10 out of 10. 2 times in a row. That's insane to me, but it's happening. Another one. Once again, the story is incredible. The moment watching this live is incredible. And the fight itself is great. It's almost like it told a story in the fight itself. You don't really see that too often. It's a great fight. Fun fact, though. Just a fun fact here. It's theorized that TJ Dillashaw was on enough EPO that he could fist fight an elephant. It's time for the big one, guys. George St-Pierre is making his return to fighting after just under a 4-year retirement. His opponent, Michael Bisping, middleweight champion of the world. The matchmaking here left a lot of people conflicted. On one hand, we get to see the GOAT come back, but not to the division where he ruled for so long. We see him come back and take on that challenge at middleweight like we've been wanting for so long. That's exciting. But what isn't exciting, though, is that this division got put on hold while we had to deal with this. Michael Bisping defended his first title defense, against Dan Henderson, a guy who wasn't even top 10. There was contenders like Jacare, Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, and eventually Kelvin Gastelum, who was rising up quick after this, just waiting for a shot. So I'm going to be honest here. I always strongly maintain that George St-Pierre is the greatest fighter ever. Rewatching this fight just kind of affirmed that even more for me. The first round, George is showing off his jab, which I think is the best jab in MMA history. Some interesting reads, though, from Bisping. He was using a check hook to counter the GSP jab, which is a very good. He's very good at using his shoulder to stop a cross over the top. That said, it's just a St-Pierre round. In the striking, he won. He did get a takedown briefly, but props to Bisping on just getting right back up. Near the end of the round, though, George lands this incredible Superman jab, and he instantly just goes into a wheel kick that slightly skims him, but it does land. It skims. It's still going to hurt. Second round, though, Bisping takes it right back. He's no longer loading up on his punches, and he's much more smoother in his boxing, while he's also adding kicks, which I think is a big thing that helped him out here. And he even gets put on his back in half guard, just gets right back up. Great round for Bisping just to tie this one up. Third round, it's 1-1 apiece. George gets an early takedown, lands in the guard of Bisping, and Bisping's winning from the bottom. He's just slicing him up with elbows, Tony Ferguson style. When they get back to their feet, George looks like he just survived a horror movie. The jab is starting to become neutralized by the countering of Bisping, and it's making striking exchanges awkward for GSP. Suddenly, GSP gets that read. He drops the count. GSP swarms with elbows. Bisping is now just getting smashed on. He's trying to survive. He goes for a scramble, but like a hawk, George takes his back, sinks in the rear naked choke. Bisping goes out cold. St-Pierre is your new UFC middleweight champion of the world. Man, this is a hard one to judge. This is a hard one to score. I really want to give this a 10 out of 10. It deserves it, right? But I'm conflicted. This fight was unnecessary, and it was hurtful to a division that badly needed momentum. But on the other hand, all the reasons the last two fights got 10s apply here, if not more so. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10 anyways. Despite all the flaws surrounding this fight, this is a 10 out of 10 fight. Easily. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this card, they're just through the roof. I honestly don't think I'm ever going to score a card this high again. So I'm giving UFC 217 a 9.5 out of 10. I doubt I'm ever going to give a whole card a 10 out of 10. Like, that just seems impossible for me. Like, I don't think that's physically possible for me to say. But this is as high as it gets. This is practically a 10 because I don't think I'm ever going to say anything's higher than this. We got to see the greatest of all time in action, going up in weight to challenge for the belt, prospects showing their potential with another prospect fulfilling their potential, a rivalry for the ages, a technical masterclass in striking philosophy. This is the best card I've ever seen, I think, still. But that's all I have today. If you really miss me, and you can admit you do, you can come check me out on the second channel, where I recap every event after it happens. Also, if you have a suggestion for a card we should review, hit up the Patreon, where you can donate to us for your pick. We just had our first one, so be prepared to see that one coming down the pipe soon. And I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.